I wanted to share with you the purpose for our vacation and just let you know what we did and what we thought of it. So we went to North Carolina in the Asheville area, and we went there because there are a couple of unique stays that we wanted to try to see, do we like them? Are these structures that we want to build? What amenities do they provide that are must-have? What would we change about them? So essentially it was a combination of a market research trip as well as a vacation.
Just got here, super excited. We see the domes are right behind us. I think you might be able to see it there. But we're going to go check in, and we passed through a super cute lake town, so we're going to go grab something to eat after we drop off our stuff.
And what can I say about it? It was tranquil. You could hear only nature. There's a very small road right beside the glamping dome itself, which you hardly ever heard. You heard the water from the creek nearby. You heard the birds. What I really loved about that glamping dome is that it was elevated. It was about 30 feet high up off the ground just in front of it. And so it gave you a sense of grandeur. It gave you a sense of like being closer to the trees, to the sky, and in nature, which I think is just a must-have to create a really enchanting glamping experience for guests. So absolutely loved it.
So it's our first night in the dome. Chris is taking a shower. I already took mine, so I'm just here reading. And the cool thing about it is that there is no internet. And I quite like that because it means we have to unplug and just hang out and talk. There are some games, there's like a deck of cards and a couple of other games, but we're probably just gonna lie here and talk, and I'm gonna read my book, my fiction book. I never read fiction, so it's kind of nice for me to actually just do something I don't normally do and completely relax. So it is absolutely gorgeous in here.
The town right next to it was a huge surprise. They actually filmed the movie Dirty Dancing there where all the water scenes are. So it was just so beautiful, and it just took me back to being a kid and watching that movie.
So we are just hiking the Chimney Rock Trail. I don't enjoy it, but it's fine. It is really pretty. They've done a great job with the trails. Pretty steep, so this is not a trail that you want to do if you're not in good physical shape. But if you are, it's definitely worth it. It's beautiful. We made it to the top almost. We're going to head out that outcropping there to get the rest of the view.
Absolutely gorgeous. You can see Lake Moore right behind me. These are the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. Super pretty.
So we are just heading back from our day hiking. Then we grabbed some lunch at this amazing, amazing restaurant. I'm sure you'll see some footage of it. And now we are probably going to rest for a little bit. Let's go get in the hot tub. We grabbed some wine and some groceries from the local grocery store. And now we're going to go take a little dip. Come on with us.
What do you like about glamping?
I love how peaceful it is here. I love how beautiful the scenery is. You are overlooking this amazing ravine, and you're covered by really beautiful trees. And so the scenery is really nice, and it also helps to keep the dome nice and cool so you don't overheat. And it's very private. I really can't say enough about how perfect this location is. And as we think about building out our glamping business, this really inspires us to get a similar kind of property that has the privacy, that has the beautiful scenery, and that has the amazing tree cover, because it just creates such a special experience for guests.
10 out of 10, absolutely loved it.
And now we're just ending the night with some hot tub and sitting by the fire. So it was a really, really great day. So we are just leaving the glamping dome, and it was a truly magical experience. Well, now we are encountering the problem that we knew we were going to have, which is there's a car on this one-lane road. So how do you make that work? So we're just backing up now. Check this out. All right, cool. So crisis averted. It was a super magical experience. Why was it magical for you?
It was super secluded, so there was nobody around. It was really nice.
There was nobody around. It was very secluded, very private, and it just felt like the experience was just us. Even though there were 2 guests in the other dome, the dome was far enough away that we never heard them. We hardly ever saw them. So it wasn't a big deal. And it was actually kind of nice to have neighbors because you didn't feel, like you were way off in the middle of nowhere. You were amongst civilization, but it was still private. So anything else you want to say about that experience?
And I just like the elevation that we're so high up. It was like literally 30 feet off the ground. It was really neat.
Yeah.
It's like you were on the tops of the trees.
Yes, it did feel like you were within the tree tops, which was really cool. So we are on our way to the next glamping experience, which is going to be more of like a little tiny mod cabin and closer to Asheville. And we're going to go to a spa today before we check in. So super excited to do that. And that's the other thing about this location is that there's a lot to do in the area. So you're not just there in your glamping site twiddling your thumbs. There's plenty to do. Chimney Rock Village is amazing. Highly, highly, highly recommend that place. All right, we'll check back in later.
Then we stayed in a more modern cabin in Asheville proper, which was about 30 minutes away. Absolutely beautiful cabin, and I would say not as special of an experience. It just felt more like a regular type of cabin, a regular type of vacation experience. It didn't have the same seclusion. It wasn't elevated. It was close to the ground. The rooms were really separated. It was a tiny cabin, and there was, when you walk in, a living room area and a couch, coffee table, and it was open with the kitchen. And then you walk down a very short hallway and you got to the bathroom as well as the bedroom that was in the back. So it wasn't one continuous space. And I think that was something that made the glamping dome so special, is that it was one continuous space and it just felt cozier. And so the mod cabin was lacking that. Also, because the bedroom was separated from the main space, the living room and the kitchen, which was where the mini split HVAC was high up on the wall, you got absolutely no air circulation in the bedroom. So they added a fan, which was fine, but it was like just blowing hot air. So that is definitely a design I don't think we would ever do. They did have a pretty cool loft space that was maybe 4 feet tall, so you kind of had to crouch down. But I absolutely hated, and Chris hated, the stairs to go up it. It was one of those accordion type fold down steps, and it just felt unsafe. It felt very rickety, and I wouldn't want to have guests have to maneuver that type of mechanism. So it was a no-go for that. But the space itself, the loft, was pretty cool. They had a TV up there, so we just could kind of cozy up with blankets and such. But I would definitely say that between the two, the glamping dome really had it. It was amazing. So that's it for the postmortem on the 2 types of experiences. In terms of the rest of the vacation, it was just so relaxing. We rented this Jeep Gladiator, which was the perfect type of vehicle to do for this because the area we went to was very mountainous, a lot of dirt roads, and so having the 4x4 vehicle was perfect. We never worried about it. We could get where we needed to go and we weren't going to get stuck. So I highly recommend that if you are doing a glamping vacation that is in sort of a mountainous area, or you're expecting to encounter dirt roads, steep roads, things like that, get a 4x4. It is absolutely going to give you peace of mind as you're driving around. And it was just a really relaxing and nice vacation. So if you're looking for a place to go where you're going to have a unique stay, where you're going to have enough to do for about 4 or 5 days, I'd highly recommend the Asheville area and the surrounding areas. I definitely recommend the glamping dome. There are 2 glamping domes on the property where we stayed, and I would definitely stay in the one that is nestled in the trees. The other one is the more famous one. It's got like a black shade sail above it, and Levi Kelly stayed there and did a YouTube video about it. That one, while it's beautiful, it's going to be a lot hotter because it's not surrounded by trees and it's in more of an open area. And so I think the one that we stayed in, I would just prefer it because it's a bit more secluded, you have more shade, and it's just very enchanting. It just has qualities that the other dome doesn't. So I would highly recommend the one that we stayed in over the other one. But I hope that you love this video, and if there's anything that you want to learn about glamping or being a host of short-term rentals, let me know. Check the links down below. If you want to become an Airbnb host, my link is there. You will earn $75 after you host your first guests, and I will earn a gift as well. In addition, you have an entirely free shopping list. All of the links for the items that I have purchased and used in my Airbnbs, they are all down below, so please check those out. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Bye-bye.